Welcome back to the LFC transfer room for yet another Darwin Nunez stream. Today I'm joined by Owen, Colin and Sumit. Owen, I'll start with you. How are you doing today? I know you're missing part of the Wales game for this, so apologies about that.
Yeah, absolutely delighted to be here and fantastic that Nunez looks very close to being finalised. And yeah, I haven't been on here much talking about it, and yeah, I'm over the moon with the deal. I'm sure we're going to talk about that and get into it. So yeah, buzzing.
Yeah, definitely. Colin, how are you doing today? Repping Liverpool with the what shirts are 17, 18? Or maybe a
Sort of.
bit.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I've got my tweet notifications on for Paul Joyce. I'm just waiting on that final notification. Okay, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Yeah, and Summer, how are you doing today?
Good. Waiting for the prints on the dotted line and get the medicals done, and then we move on to the next target.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we'll discuss it a bit soon, but I'm not sure it's going to be happening today like we all thought. But again, guys, we've got 45 people in here straight off the back, straight off the goal. Make sure you do leave a like on the video. Also, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We're only 15 subs away from 5k, so make sure you are subscribing to the channel. It helps us out a bunch. But Owen, Darwin Nunez, a lot has happened over the past 3 to 4 days. Obviously, it's been confirmed today. Well, so I'll break it down for everyone. So English journalists are saying a fee hasn't been agreed, and they're 8 million short. So apparently Liverpool only want to pay 68 million up front. Sorry, Liverpool only want to play 60. Benfica wants 68 plus the 20 add-ons. English journalists are saying Julian Ward's still in Portugal discussing it. A lot of very reliable foreign journalists are saying that the deal's been fully agreed, including Fabrizio Romano. It is just down to Darwin Nunez to fly to his medical, which again we're getting conflicting reports because people were saying that he's flying there today. Some people are saying tomorrow. Some people are saying Monday. It is a 14-hour flight, so it could span across 2 days easily. But Owen, first we'll just look at the Darwin Nunez as deal as a whole. Obviously, 100 mil is a lot of money. But the wages he's reportedly getting at around 115 grand, so not right back bang in the middle. What are your initial thoughts on the whole deal as a general?
When it initially came out, I didn't really believe it. I thought, you know how FSG are, we don't typically go and spend £85 million on a player. We just don't. I know we did with Van Dijk, but that was 4 years ago now, and it was also part of the Coutinho money. So look, when it first came out, I was like, I'm not sure about this. But yeah, look, it shows though, furthermore, that FSG, when Klopp wants to target, and I'm sure Klopp, Julian Ward, they've all sat down, looked at it, thought it all through. And yeah, ultimately, I think City signing Haaland, that kind of meant that we needed to make a statement. And we've definitely done that by bringing in Nunez or being on the verge. Like I've looked at him and he doesn't really have a weakness to his game. He's strong, tall, scores goals with his head. You know, with Liverpool, we often miss a lot of chances. See Trent Robertson crossing the balls into the box. No one's there. Nunez solves that problem. And yeah, when he comes in, I don't want people to kind of judge him straight off the back because it might take time. You saw with Diaz, it didn't take him any time at all. But yeah, it's from the Portuguese league, and yeah, it might take him a few games. So don't judge him straight away. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, Colin. I mean, it is a big risk. You can't take it away from it. 100 million euros on a 22-year-old who's only played in the Premier League. We can't take away from the fact that it is a lot of money. But if Jurgen Klopp is willing to spend that money, then Nunez must be something special, mustn't he, Colin?
You know what? I quite like this villain turn that Liverpool Football Club is taking now, because before it was all, he must be really popping up on those analytics charts. And you know what? Maybe the Liverpool model, like the data model, has unearthed another gem, but it's not like that with Nunez now. We just saw this guy go up against us after facing Benfica, and he gave Matip a tough time. He gave Konate a really, really tough time. And we saw him go up against us. And I think Liverpool just looked at this dude and said, you know what? the strikers market is like not that really strong, but this dude is 22 and he's so tough and he's quite quick and rapid, and he's almost got this like Van Dyke-esque profile as an athlete. Like he's very strong and tall and quick. So if you're already competing against a City juggernaut that has just signed Erling Haaland, why not go all in on this dude?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Summer, are you excited to see him play? I mean, it looks pretty much done. Hopefully, we don't get another Fekir situation. But, you know, it's an exciting signing for Liverpool, isn't it? You're on mute, Summer.
Sorry. Yeah, it is exciting, but we just have to also take into account of the fact that we are also sad that Sadio Mane, one of the legend of Liverpool Football Club and the Klopp era, is going to leave, and the contribution of Mane, the work effort and the goals, the assist, every season, we will miss it, right? I mean, the 18-19 season, the 17-18 season of Sadio Mane was probably the best we have seen in a long, long time, not only in the Liverpool Football Club, but also in the Premier League, right? So we're going to miss him, definitely. So with that sad ending, we are now entering into the evolution of Klopp 2.0, as they are calling, with Darwinism, right? And the jury is still, is still not out yet, because Darwin had a spectacular season, 34 goals last season, if I'm not mistaken, playing for Benfica, right? And yes, the price tag is probably, I mean, the market is definitely cooked up with this, Chow Many deal and every other deal and everything else, right? It's probably 20-25%, premium with every single player, except for the Liverpool players. But it is 100 million and euros. It is a risk, definitely. We never paid so much in the history of Liverpool Football Club, right? It's a statement signing, but at the same time, it's not that we are signing recklessly. We are always very careful about how we spend our money. So there are departures happening in Mane. It probably will get around 40 million quid, right? There's definitely interest for Takumi Minamino, and also Oxlade-Chamberlain and Nico Williams. So from there, those who actually last season didn't play for Liverpool that often. So we wanted that from the financial perspective, that's covered. So from the financial perspective, the risk is, I would say, is being offset. But yes, whether he will be successful or not, that nobody can guarantee. I mean, when we signed Virgil van Dijk for 75 million, right? The pundit said, "Oh, he's not that much," right? After 1 year, the same people said he's worth 150 million, maybe more than that. So it's the Klopp, I would say, the Klopp magic, or the Klopp way of making a player world class. We have seen with Lewandowski, we have seen with some Salah, Mane, and you name it, right? It's proven fact. So there is absolutely no reason for us to be not optimistic with, Darwin Nunez. But at the same time, he will, like Owen mentioned, we need to give him time, right? We cannot expect that he will, hit the ball running and start scoring loads and loads of goals from day one. He needs to adapt and adjust his game, the way we play, but we will give him time. One thing for sure, this kid can score goals and will get us goals. He's a proper number 9 that probably we never had in a club era.
Yeah, I think, it's a very tough one, isn't it, Owen? Because we've never had a number 9. It has been something that we have been crying about, and not crying about, but crying for. We've always been sort of playing with a winger up front, or Firmino or Jota or Mane as a false nine. But as Egyptian King said here, Diaz, Nunez, and Salah as a front three. I mean, you've got to remember as well, Nunez and Diaz are going to have a full preseason under the belt. I mean, it's that front three is it is magical, as Egyptian King said there, but it's something we need to compete with Manchester City, isn't it? Because they're signing a complete package for Erling Haaland for like 300 million, including agent fees, mother fees, teacher fees, youth coach fees, and they're close to signing Cucurella for 40 million. They're close to signing Calvin Phillips for 60 million. You've got Jack Grealish on the bench who he never play for 100 million. So yes, we've signed a 100 mil player or close to, but it's really the biggest signing we've had since Virgil van Dijk, isn't it? Or Alisson, I guess.
Yeah, it probably is. But when you look at the market, really, and obviously Mane's leaving, and he's been a great servant for us. But yeah, you look at the market in the minute, and we need a striker, but so do Newcastle, so do United, and that's just in Europe and England, and even Arsenal in England, and that's not forgetting about Europe as well. So when you take all the factors into consideration, for a top class striker like Nunez, you've got to pay that premium. Unfortunately, at the minute, that's just the way it is. And I think with City as well, you can't forget players are leaving for them. Jesus, who's been phenomenal. Like, I don't understand how he hasn't played more games, and same with Sterling, really. So look, either of them could go, and then it depends on how Haaland does. Depends on that River Plate player. I can't remember his name, but he looks all right. Alvarez, yeah.
Alvarez.
So, who knows?
Definitely. Again, guys, we've got 80 people in here, so make sure you do leave a like on the video. Also, subscribe. We're getting closer to 5k, which is crazy considering last week we were on like 4.5k. So thank you so much for all of the support. But going more onto what we can expect from Nunez, Colin. Obviously, it's hard to set a benchmark at the moment, but there's going to be no doubt that he'll be playing as a out-and-out 9 for us, with Diaz and most likely Salah on the wing. He's 6'2". He's very good in the air. He's a really good dribbler. He's probably one of the more complete players we've had up front in a long time. Goal-wise, what are you expecting from him? I know it's hard to put a number on it now, but if you'd have to throw a number out there, how many goals would you expect them to get next season?
I'm sticking to 15 right now, and I'll tell you why. Okay, not everyone's going to be a Luis Diaz and come straight in from the cold and take the world take the stage by fire, right? Because no matter how good you are, the Premier League is different gravy. It's a lot more physical, it's a lot more quicker. You have a lot less time on the ball, and I know Darwin Nunez scored a lot of his goals being a very direct player, but I don't think he'll get that much space in the Premier League as well, because a lot of teams tend to sit back against Liverpool more often than not. So I don't think he's going to get that much space as well. But considering the fact that we have Thiago on the left side, we have Trent on this side, and we have two very, very good crosses of the ball in Trent and Andy Robertson, and in Costa Simicas as well, that's a lot of opportunity for Nunez to exploit on set pieces and corners. So that's like a very, very big advantage for him as well. And once you get those goals going, especially for a striker like him, it's like bags of confidence, especially when you're coming in from a whole new league to a league like the Premier League. So I'm really, really excited actually, because I really can't wait to see this Thiago and Darwin Nunez link up, especially with Trent getting better each season. I don't know how Trent gets better each season, but he just does. So I don't think you can put a ceiling on the side once Nunez signs on the dotted line, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I'll come to you somewhat with the same question in a minute. But no, man, thank you so much for the €10 donation. It helps us out so much. And as we always say with donations, every penny goes back into the channel. We also have set up YouTube memberships Really, really easy to join if anybody wants to. Yeah, right next to the subscribe button by the title, there's a little join button. If you click that, it'll open up a big option with all what you receive for the membership. At the moment, it's not a lot because we're sort of in the first stages of it. But you click that join button, it's $3.99 a month. And yeah, just pay through that on Google Pay. I know a couple of people were having issues with that, that he did want to. But Jen as well, thank you so much for the super sticker. Again, guys, it helps us out so much. Norman and Jen, thank you so much. But Sumit, back onto the question. You know, we've got a couple of people here saying 13 goals this season, 15, 25 in the league, which I think might be a bit thingy. But you know, I'm getting a bit of a high number because, you know, Trent and Robertson have been aiming at 5'8" wingers for ages. Now they're going to be having someone whose main goal is to stay in the box and who's great in the air. You know, we could be seeing a lot of goals if we see the same delivery as we have done for 3-4 years now with what's his face? I can't think of a name. Is it Trent and Robbo? Sorry, I've literally just had an absolute brain blank. Well, how many goals do you reckon he's going to get, Sumit?
Look, Diogo Jota, right, last season had a pretty injury-free season, right, barring some small niggles here and there, right? And he scored last season about 21 goals, right, 15 in the Premier League. And the expectation from Jota was not scoring 21 goals. Yes, he will score some goals, but he has far, you know, gone beyond our expectation, right? And by the way, he scored some spectacular goals through, you know, headers, right? And this guy is Darwin Nunez is what, 6 feet 2 inches, something, 2 or 3 inches. So he's tall, right, compared to our current front three, right? He's taller than all of them, right? And he has a knack of scoring goals through heads, and we offer so much from both sides. So my expectation is that he will score more than 20 goals next season if he is relatively fit. More than 20 goals. And there is absolutely no doubt about it. The way we play, the way we create our chances, and actually, you know, if you look at our stats, right, we create so many chances. Is that unbelievable that why we cannot even score, given the fact that we scored loads of goals last season? We should have scored more goals. So absolutely, he's a beast in front of the goal, and he will score more than 20 goals for next season. I cannot tell you like how many in the Premier League, but at least for the season, he will definitely give us 20 plus goals. And then it definitely, anything above 15 goals next season would definitely justify the price that we are paying for him now, in my opinion.
Owen, again, I'll ask the same question to you. I mean, someone's just mentioned here that he's Eddie, that he's very quick. He was the second fastest player in the Champions League last season, and he was only 0.003 behind the quickest one. So they were basically the same speed. For a 6'2" striker, that is crazy, isn't it?
Crazy. It is. And by the way, he scored against Barcelona. He scored against us in Champions League.
And Bayern Munich.
He scored
Bayern Munich.
I think he scored twice against Bayern Munich, twice against us, and technically he scored 3 goals against, or 4 goals actually. But 2 of them were offside, I'm pretty sure. No, and that unbelievable save from Alisson, which he said himself. You know, Owen, there's a lot to look forward to here, isn't there? But how many goals do you reckon he'll get?
Well, as a football fan, I'm kind of greedy. I want more, and there's a lot of expectation for Nunez. So in all competitions, I want 25 goals from him. Obviously, yeah, you could have injuries and stuff, and things might not go quite to plan. But yeah, as long as he has a positive impact on the team and kind of produces in the big moments, that's kind of what I'm looking for him most, really, is that obviously I don't really care if he's playing in the League Cup first round against Lincoln or whatever. Like no one really cares about them games. It's like the Champions League games, the European nights, Man City games, Chelsea games, them games. I want to see him scoring goals. And I think it's kind of interesting now to think if Minamino's off, Origi's gone as well. It's in the League Cup. What team are we going to be playing in the early rounds? Carvalho, play Firmino, now kind of downgrade into that role, maybe even Jota. It just kind of shows now how before we kind of had a massive drop off from like 4th to 5th choice or whatever, but now we've got just abundance of quality all round, really. So yeah, it's promising times to be a Liverpool fan, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, before we go on, if you are new, guys, make sure you do leave a like on the video. There's over 100 people in the chat at the moment, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. But going on to what front three you think we'll be playing, Colin, do you think it's as simple as Nunez, Diaz, and Salah, or could you maybe, for all we know, potentially play a front four next season?
No, I think it's still going to be a 3, solely because we saw how even after we signed Thiago, even if we added like a player of his prestige to our midfield ranks, we still had to stick with the 3 in midfield because it's just a lot of interdependence, because it gives the wingbacks a lot of room. It gives Salah a lot of room to maneuver as well. But I think we are still going to stick with the 3 because in basketball there's this thing called spacing. So if you respect somebody's 3-point shot, you close them and you leave space for somebody else, which I think is going to happen a lot when it comes to Nunez and Salah playing on the same side. So you're going to have to respect Nunez's shot making ability in the box, and you absolutely have to respect Mohamed Salah as well. So when this much space opens up and there's a lot of defenders being pulled all sides, all kinds of ways, that leaves a lot of room for Thiago and a lot of room for Luis Diaz as well to do whatever they need to do. So I just think that when you have a person of that gravity in the box, in Darwin Nunez, who's like an out-and-out goal getter, and he's like going to pounce on all the loose balls for you, and you have wingers like Salah and Diaz, it's just going to be all kinds of mayhem for defenders to keep track of, because how do you keep a freak athlete like Darwin Nunez locked up? It's going to be supremely difficult. And Luis Diaz has been operating solely with no preseason at all, and he's just going off vibes at this point, and he still performed to like quite a high level and sort of ran out of gas towards the end. But if this was him focusing and playing off what he already knows without any precise tactical instructions, I'm really excited to see how he does after a whole preseason and after going through all of the intense pressing situations that we'd go through in training and fine tune all of that. And then that front 3 will be magical to watch.
Yeah, agree. Do you agree with what Colin said there, Sumit?
Yeah, I do agree. The formation plays a big part, right? Jurgen Klopp is a massive fan of 4-3-3. Now, it also depends on what players are available, right? So if, let's say we were successful in getting Tchouaméni, now with that type of quality, you probably, and then we have Fabinho, with that of quality, you could have argued like, let's have 2 pivots, right, in the midfield, and then you change your formation to maybe 4-2-3-1, or something like that, or 4-2-4, something like that. But I'm not sure whether we are going to get that quality of a midfielder right now in the market. Yes, we are still looking for to add to the midfield, but I still believe that we are going to stick to 4-3-3, and then Salah, and then Darwin Nunez in the middle, and then obviously Luis Diaz from the left will be operating. They will change roles, and the kid has the versatility of playing from the left, not so much from the right, but playing from the left. If that happens, obviously, Diogo Jota will come in, and probably Firmino will. I would like to see Firmino more from not like a false nine, but more of like the attacking midfielder with with the Carvalho, and those two would be very key next season for us in terms of creating opportunities, because they are two very intelligent players, in my opinion, that we have right now in our team. So it would be interesting to see how Klopp changes those key players and the formation.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you said anything too outrageous there, Summit, to make Charlie leave right there. But yeah, I think he's having a few technical issues. So yeah, we'll carry on. What you're saying there about the formation, I think spot on about kind of it depends on who's available in terms of if Henderson isn't there. I think Henderson probably would be perfect for the 4-2-3-1 because it would mean he'd be able to sit back. But yeah, same with Fabinho probably. But if it's a player like Naby Keita, you probably want them more box to box. And look, if we're going to sign Nunez, who isn't a typical player we'd sign, then you may as well. Well, there's no point in not thinking that Klopp won't change the whole system as well, because like he signed the whole time we've had Roberto Firmino as false nine, and here he is. He's returned.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so the whole time we've had Roberto Firmino, really, and then Jota came in, kind of picked up that false nine in a way, and same with Mane. So now I think with Mane going, I think we're going to see kind of, as you say, the next evolution of the Klopp era, and look, I'm hoping it's successful as the last one, to be honest with you, and you can just win more trophies.
You're right, and it also depends on what kind of player, the quality of the player that we have in the team, right? I mean, Jurgen Klopp has been very successful to make the players adapt to his system, and that's why we look at the versatility rather than proper number 9 or proper winger, but it's that the interchangeability across left, right, middle, right, and we have seen that, and in last season we have seen Trent playing from the middle, so much, rather than going to the right, and then Henderson going to the right and playing the crosses in, and Trent playing kind of a more of an attacking midfielder role. I think the next target, which is probably the midfielder who can play as a backup to Fab, and maybe also a backup to Hendo, would be very key in terms of how we play and the formation that we play next season. If we get someone like, who can be box to box, right? Who can free up, let's say, Thiago or Keita, right? Then I don't see a reason why he would change the 4-3-3, which has been so much successful, right? Otherwise, I could easily see going into 4-2-3-1, but I don't see he adopting to 4-4-2. I don't see any reason Klopp I haven't seen Klopp adopting to 4-4-2, but 4-2-3-1 probably a possibility. Yeah,
I think Tielemans would actually be perfect for our team from Leicester. I just think he has that box to box Premier League experience as well. And I think in a 4-3-3, he'd be perfect because he's got the passing, he's got the shooting as well. There's no kind of aspect to his game where he can't play on that right hand side of the midfield three. So I think as well, Arsenal, Leicester, even though Arsenal have been interested, I think Leicester probably would be willing to let him go for about 35-40 million. So it's a realistic one as well. It's not just Bellingham, who's constantly coming up time and time again, who probably is going to cost 100 million plus.
We haven't been linked with him, right? And last season we were linked with him, but this season we haven't been linked with him. Are we?
Yeah, true. It's just more of our fans really constantly saying, whether it's on social media or wherever.
It's more of
that's not going to work out though. That's not going to work out though. If you have Tielemans on there, there's just no cover for Trent or Salah. That's not going to work out, man.
I think I'm not a fan of Tielemans. I think he's got a year left on his contract, so you probably get him for about 20 million, 20 to 35 million. I think Leicester want him to go. Leicester want him to go, and Tielemans wants to go too. So yeah, I'm just not sure. I think it breaks the bank for Bellingham.
And if we are really serious about Jude Bellingham, which we are, I think, right, for next season, maybe not this season, it's probably unlikely this season, then there's no reason to have someone for 30, 40 million and do what with him, right? I mean, Jude Bellingham will play and will be more, I would say, creative than Tielemans, in my opinion. And he's much more versatile and much more potent, in my opinion. And the ceiling, he has a high ceiling as well, and young, and then the age is on his side. And I think that's where I think Liverpool Football Club will invest heavily. But I don't see any reason for going for Tielemans, in my opinion.
He is only 25 though, as well. Remember, and unfortunately, I think we are going to start to phase out the likes of Henderson. We've already done that with Milner, so I think we do kind of need more young, hungry players in the squad, especially in the midfield now.
Yeah, I feel like we've focused a lot on Nunez. We're only going to keep this going for about 5-10 more minutes. But one of the other news stories today was Takumi Minamino being linked to Monaco for 17 million. Paul Joyce has confirmed it. Looks like Minamino wants to go, and Monaco are pushing hard for him. Owen, it's sad to see him go, isn't it? But for 17 million, 10 mil profit, you can't complain, can you?
Yeah, 70 million, unfortunately. It's a weird one because you don't want Minamino to leave because you can't really bring in a replacement for less money, if you know what I mean. So you're going to have to spend more money, which I'm not entirely sure FSG will do. And then you lose a great squad player who's just willing to sit there as 5th, 6th, 7th choice, really, and just play the League Cup and FA Cup games. And you do need those players there just to play those games and in case of an emergency, really. So it's kind of a weird one. I think 70 million. I don't really know where they got the price from, but yeah, I think it's a bit too much for Minamino, so we have to take it.
Yeah, Colin, do you agree with that? He's been a key part of this season, but it's realistically, if we keep Firmino, Salah, Jota, and then with Nunez and Diaz coming in, he's probably going to be even struggling to start in FA Cup games, isn't he? So it seems like a move that's going to happen. But what are your thoughts on it?
I say 17 is fair enough, but I say don't sell to Monaco because they didn't sell Chouameni to us either. So you know what? We're going to hold a grudge now. Okay, we're going to sell him to Leeds maybe or whoever, like Southampton, somebody in the Premier League, Wolves maybe. I don't know. Just not to Monaco. Okay, we can hold grudges on this side. We can do that.
Yeah, definitely. Jen, finally we figured out how to do it. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. I'll get you sorted out in the Discord after this stream. But again, guys, every penny that goes from memberships, donations goes back into it. I know a lot of people for some reason are struggling. There's apparently not a join button for a lot of people next to subscribe. But if you refresh the videos from now on, there will be a link at the top of the description, pretty much right under the text of the stream, with a link to join. That's what I put in chat for Jen. You get yourself a cool snazzy badge, and the longer you are a member, it gets even cooler. So, what's not to like? And I'm sure Jen can put in the two emotes that we have at the moment. Anthony's got some in the works, but there's a Diogo one and a Senor one that are pretty cool. But again, thank you, Jen. But Summer, what are your thoughts on Takumi Minamino leaving?
A couple of weeks back on this show, I said that Minamino was the most improved player, in my opinion, last season, right? Season on season comparison basis. Because of him, I think we have won 2 titles last. There's absolutely no disagreement on that effort, that the goals that he scored, right? He scored 10 goals last season, guys. I mean, 10 goals, 3 in Premier League, yes, but it does matter, scoring goals, even if it is an FA Cup or is in a League Cup, right? I think 17 million for Taki is a bit underpriced and bit underrated. And then 17 million, I don't know. I feel it's a little low. But look, he wants to play regularly, and he should play regularly. I think if he wants to leave, Jurgen Klopp is not a person who will, stand in the middle and say, no, you cannot go. I think rightly so, he wants to go and play more football. Monaco are definitely interested. I heard recently Wolves are also interested and has contacted his agents and have spoken and probably willing to pay the asking price, close to the asking price. So a lot of interest for Taki given the price, right? And there are multiple teams. Even Southampton want to take him back after the 6 months of loan that he had over there. So I'm sad, and unfortunately, we have Origi, Taki, and then Mane, three players leaving, and we have only now, Nunez once he signs, of course. So there's a bit of a gap in the backup for the cup matches, right? So that's a little bit of a concern. I don't know about you guys. For me, it's a little bit of concern because obviously you expected goals and performances from Origi or Minamino in the cup matches, but we have 5, 6 solid players up front. Probably the Harvey Elliott's will get more and more chances if he stays fit in the cup tie. So we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, we've got
Value as well. Forgetting him.
Carvalho, and we've got Kate Gordon as well, who's very highly rated, and there's a couple of really good youngsters in the under 21. So James Norris and the lad we signed from Newcastle, I keep forgetting his name, but similar to a typical English name. But Owen, Colin, Sumit, thank you so much for joining us in the stream today. Only a short one. Everyone who donated, Jen, Noman, people who have become new members, thank you so much. Got 2 new videos out on the channel, Nunez midfield issue, and then a Rafinha one. So make sure you go and check them out. We will have another stream for you at 7:30 tomorrow, and it will be a transfer central. So more Darwin Nunez stuff until he signs. And when Darwin Nunez does sign, we will be going live straight away. So make sure you have your post notifications on for that stream. But Owen, Colin, Sumit, go and check them all out on Twitter. Make sure you follow us all, and make sure to follow LFC Transfer Room as well. But thank you everyone for